This is chapter 11. This is video number 3. I suggest you go back and watch video number 1 and video number 2. This is talking about data, analyzing data, and we did it through histograms, and we looked at frequency tables, dot plots. We did several other things, stem and leaf plot. So this is just another way to use the data in a different manner. And so a box and whisker plot uses a number line to show the distribution of the data. And it's really cool because it breaks it up into different parts, like 4 equal parts to be able to do this. So to construct it, we're going to break it up into 4 equal parts. So order your numbers from least to greatest, that's important. Circle your lowest and highest values. Basically, you're going to find the median, and then you're going to find the median and find the median. That's what you're going to end up doing. So like if I had a list of numbers, we're going to find the median of that, the middle number. And then we're going to look at the upper half of the numbers, and we're going to find the median. And we're going to look at the lower half, and we're going to find the median. And this, between the lower, this is the median of the whole list. This is the upper quartile, UQ, upper quartile, and this is the lower quartile, or you might want to say like quarter 1, or quartile 1, quartile 3, upper quartile, lower quartile, same thing. And then these are called the whiskers. You know, like if you think of a cat has whiskers, so you got a box and whiskers to be able to do that. This would be the very lowest number, the minimum, and this would be the maximum, the very highest number in your list of numbers. And it's really cool because it literally breaks it up into different parts. So this is 25% of all the data is over on that whisker. The other whisker has the other 25%, and this has 25%, and this has 25%. So in other words, the box has 50% of the data inside it, between the lower quartile and the upper quartile has 50% of the data. So let's look at that same illustration that we used in video 1 and video 2. So we have 11 numbers. We find the median. They are arranged from least to greatest. So this is the middle number, 51. We already found that. That was the median. If it says to circle the upper and the lower numbers, we're going to do that. That just keeps an eyeball. That's my minimum and my maximum to be able to do that. And then we're going to come up with a number line, and we're just going to draw it here. And let's count by tens. You can count by whatever number, intervals you want. Don't need quite all that. All right. So what we're going to do is just plot these numbers on here. So 51 is right here. And remember, this is your median right here. So make sure you label everything so you understand what the data is referring to. And then what we're going to do is, if you notice the steps, what we're going to do is take the upper half of the number. So here's the median. The upper half, to the right of that, you find the middle of those numbers, which is 56. So 56 is about right here. And this is your upper quartile, or quartile 3, if you want to call it that. So that's the median there. And then the middle of this list is 46, of the lower half is 46. So 46 is about right here. Again, this is the lower quartile, or quartile 1, if you want to call it that. You have your box. And then you have all the way your maximum number, 72. That's your max number, and your lower number is 34. That's your minimum number. And notice I have a box and whisker plot, and it's accurate based on the graph. And you can count by 5s or 10s or 8s or 3s, whatever it is. Just make sure they're equal intervals when you do your number line to do that. Now, let me show you how to do this on the calculator. Again, based on my other videos, we did create a list. There's my list of numbers to be able to do that, but we did that by stat, and we did enter. We entered those numbers, and again, the numbers were already arranged from lowest to highest to be able to do that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to plot a couple things. Now, right above the y line, so here's y equals, okay, but right above that is called stat plot in blue. So we're going to literally go to second y equals, and we're going to go to this first one, and note, I already have mine turned on, but basically you're going to go, yours is already turned off probably, so you're just going to basically turn it on. And then here are several different graphs, which by the way, this is the histogram right there, the third one right there, it's the histogram, which is nice, but we're not going to look at that right now. We're going to go over to this one. This is the box and whisker plot. I've got to do that. And notice, just to double check, the list is L1, so make sure that if you typed it in to all the data into L1, make sure that says L1. To do that. And then what we're going to do is simply push graph. Now, when you push graph, you don't really see the data. And you're like, well, why don't I see the data? Well, remember the numbers are up to 30, from 34 to 72, and my window only shows up to 10. So what we're going to do is push zoom, and if you notice zoom 9 is zoom stats. So we're going to push 9, and notice it shows my box and whisker, and you can compare that to what I have here. And another cool thing is, you're like, well, how do I know what those numbers are? Well, if you push trace, as soon as you push trace, it goes directly to the median, and it shows you at 51. So that's what we found, is the median is 51. And then you can literally just push to the left or to the right. It says the quartile 1 is at 46. That's what we found. It says the minimum is 34. Again, that's what we found. The minimum is 34. Again, you can go to the right. Quartile 3 is 56. Again, that's what we found. And the max is 72. Again, that's what we found. So that's a nice way to look at the box and whisker plot as well, to be able to do that. Now let's try another set of data, and that's out of order, just to make sure we understand how to do it all on the calculator. If you feel comfortable knowing how to do all this and just practicing that, you don't have to watch the second example, but you should be able to go a lot quicker through the second example. So here's a set of data there's 12 numbers that are not arranged from least to greatest. So if we go back and push stats, and we're going to edit it, so we don't need stats, the list of L1 anymore. So I'm just going to go up to L1, and I'm just going to push clear. I want to clear the whole list, and it wipes the whole table clean. You can delete each one if you want, but it's easier just to delete them all. And then what you're going to do is just enter the data in one at a time. And something you should notice, as I typed in the very last number, it does say L112 on my calculator, and notice if you count the numbers, I have 12 numbers. So that's a good way to check it here, just to make sure that you have 12 numbers, you have 12 numbers in the list, and then just quickly make sure you typed in all the numbers correctly to be able to do that. If one piece of information is typed in wrong, then it's going to throw your whole data off. So to be able to do that. Now, one thing we're going to do differently on this list, the last list was in order, so it'd be nice to put these numbers in order. So if you push stat, again, if you notice choice 2 is we're going to sort the list. It will literally sort them for us, put them in order. So we're going to press enter, and then we're going to tell it to list, we're going to put L1 because we typed it under L1. L1, if you look at number 1, is L1 is right above that was second L1. So basically, now it starts with the 41 to be able to do that, my lowest number, and then it goes from the least to greatest. So again, stat, sort A, and then you just type in L1 or L2 or L3, whatever list we do. Normally we do L1 to be able to do that. So now we have the data inside of there, and if we wanted to do what we had done earlier, so remember we can go over to calc. Again, stat, calc, choice 1, again, L1, if that's the list that you typed it in, calculate, and that gives you the average, the minimum, the quartile 1, it gives you the median, quartile 3, the max. It gives you certain statistics if you want to find those to be able to do that. You can see the mode, the most occurring number in there. The median we can see is right here, 74. on there. So you can do that if you want, but let's practice on doing the box or whisker plot. So we know right here from this, the median is 74. To do that, the list, do that, but we're going to do second stat plot. Again, mine's still turned on, and so if we enter this, we want to tell it which type to do. Again, go to the box or whisker plot. Again, the list should be L1, and we're going to just simply push graph. And remember to push zoom 9, that's the zoom stat, and it literally takes you to the box or whisker plot. And then again, all you have to do is push trace, and it tells you the median. It tells you the quartile 1. It tells you the minimum. So I'm going to basically look at my minimum, which is, I'm going to start at 40. I'm just going to count my tens. And so I have a minimum of 41. So that's my minimum. I have my quartile 1 at 70.5. Remember, we had an even amount of numbers, so that's why there's, the quartile 1 is not actually in the list. We have to find the average between two middle numbers. So at 70.5, this is the quartile 1 or the lower quartile, if you want to call it that. 74 is actually the median, the very middle number. 89 is the quartile 3 or the upper quartile. That's my box. And actually, probably should actually list that. That's 89, 74, 70.5. Minimum is 41. And the max is 100. Draw the whisker. Draw the whisker. And I have a box or whisker plot with all the numbers to be able to do that. And just to emphasize again, stat, go to calc, press enter, calculate. And again, so if I ask you other statistics as well, like the mean, which is again average, or X bar. So you can find the average of the class of the scores of 75 plus 75. There's 12 numbers, we already know that. We already know the minimum is 41. The median is 70. Well, we have it right there, but the median is 74. The mode is the most occurring number, which is, if you look at it, we have 73 occurs one time, two times. We have 74 occurring two times. And yeah, that's it. So 73, you could say 73 and 74 are the most occurring numbers, or you can say there's no specific one number that occurs the most to do that. And it tells you the quartile 389 and the max. We already have all that numbers there as well. But again, there's all the statistics that you need to know to do that. Well, unless I ask for the range, but that's just taking the highest number minus the lowest number, 41. So the range is 59. So from the highest number person to the lowest is a 59-point difference between them. So those are all the statistics. We're doing a box and whisker plot, finding the various different types of statistics using the calculator.